RTD, never heard of him. Hello, welcome to Come Along Pond, a Doctor Who discussion podcast with your two best friends. It's me, it's Damla, and I'm joined, as always, by my gorgeous co-host, it's Elliot.
I rustle my Davis till I tea. I don't know. Anyway,
I had a cup of tea. It's finished now.
Ooh, I have Ribena.
We should have had chips for this. We should have been eating chips while we recorded this. That would have been...
Eating chips, ordered a pizza, spilt red wine down ourselves.
Yeah. Darling, how are you?
I am... Yeah, I'm good, you know?
Good?
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it.
I've... Yeah, it's crazy because we haven't spoken Doctor Who for a little while.
We haven't spoken Docky Who specifically in a while, yeah.
No, and it feels like it's been a long time. But yeah. I've done shameless plug. But I've done 2 episodes of Strictly Come Hamster for the Hamster with the Blunt Pen Knife people.
Yeah.
Our mutual friend Joe Ford.
Yeah. Who did a lovely intro last week.
Yes, which we adore.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've been talking about Doctor Who a lot, but I haven't talked about Doctor Who with you. Especially because normally I don't do New Who on Strictly.
Yeah.
But we did Series 2, as in Series 2 that just came out, and we did Series 10, so Peter Capaldi's last series.
There you go.
Or the first half of it. Second half still yet to come. So like, it just feels strange to be talking about New Who, not with you.
Well, if you want to hear, because we ain't going to get to Series 10 for like another 4 years. So like, if you want to hear Elliot talk about Series 10, link in the show notes if the episode's out by then. Yeah.
Yeah. And if not, just Hamps with the Blunt Pen Knife, easy to find.
We're going to just link the podcast in the show notes. Go listen to it. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been this episode has been in the works. What?
Nothing. It's just singing. It's another fly.
I was actually talking earlier. It's really rude.
Yeah, well, there's a fly. It's distracted me, and I don't know why. It's because my window's open.
Buzz. Much like when I speak.
Buzz.
Buzz. Bzz. Can you imagine if I just started convulsing? That'd be funny. Bad and wrong. Anyway, bad and wrong.
Vesperful. How's Harvey Wallbagger? One word.
Gareth Roberts, when I fucking catch you. Except I won't. I would never touch you. Dirty, wrong, disgusting. This episode is sponsored by Xanax. Anyway.
Yes, anyway, you're fine. How are you doing? This episode has been long in the making.
It's been long in the making. We've read... Hold on. I've got my prop. You can't touch it because it's in the background for you.
I mean, I can reach
for
into
Patreon
the background.
people.
This is not 2D.
I'm holding the absolute tomb that is The Writer's Tale, the final chapter, written by Russ T. Davies and Benjamin Cook. I have it in front of me. We're talking about this big boy today, along with some other bits. It's the RTD Retrospective.
I bought the book specifically to have in the background.
I've had it for 10 years.
And so, in theory, I could make notes and annotations, and I didn't.
I bought it twice. I have the Kindle copy and the physical copy. Russell, if you say I don't love you, shut up.
I have it on Kindle. That's how I read it. We both do, yeah. Much easier. Can't lug that around in a
Right, sorry. As an actual, because I know we're going to get into the book, but look at, again, for Patreon people, look how small that text is.
Yeah, it's a big book.
It's the retrospective. It's called Nuance. Heard of it? It's going to be a nuanced, layered, beautiful mess.
It's the Russell Retrospective.
It's the Russell Retrospective.
Well, as you may be able to tell from up top, today we're talking about Russell T Davies, who's born on the 27th of April, 1963. He was directed by, God, and written by, himself, maybe. Who knows? No, look, this has been planned for a while. Obviously, it's kind of null and void because Ross has come back to the show, so it's not a full retrospective, but
no.
It's a Series 1 to 4 retrospective. Goodbye, RTD1. We hardly knew you. We love you. Also, we were going to do a Series 4 breakdown, and then I realised
that we'd done one already.
Yesterday that we'd already done one.
So funny.
I sat at my computer to make notes, and I had vivid memories of you telling me that I was an idiot for where I placed like Sontaran Stratagem in my ranking. I was like, We must have talked about these
I've
episodes.
seen
then
this
had
film
a look.
before.
We've done a full series 4 breakdown. So that, all of the warning for how this was going to be maybe a 2-parter, 3-hour bumper episode. Nah, because we don't have to do a series breakdown anymore.
Mate.
So nice.
But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, when we were planning this episode, again, this is one specific episode that we've had in the making for a year, I want to say. We planned it over a year ago to be like, okay, we need to start reading the writer's tale.
Even longer, because at the end of 2023, I started reading the writer's tale.
Yes.
But that's because at the end of 2023, we were making very good progress on series 4.
Yeah. And then
just things happened.
I think it would be really nice to start off with, because the first initial run of Doctor Who that Russell was at the helm of, series 1 to 4, is extremely important for both of us, and is basically part of the foundations of who we are as people. And I know that's quite a loaded statement, but it's true. It's true. Some of the things that occurred in those first 4 series of Doctor Who are extremely important to me and have developed my taste. They actually have shaped my taste for film, for TV, writing, characters, and also, quite frankly, made me realise I was queer as fuck. So, there's that. I just will always have love for Russell T Davies, and it upsets me to see, I won't go on about it now because, again, we're doing a retrospective, we're not talking about a lot of current stuff, but it does upset me to see the way he's being spoken about now, because the man is more than just Doctor Who, even though that's what we're talking about today, but he is such a prolific and incredible writer, and I just think people need to cut him some slack, quite frankly, because he is I'll say it, he's a genius. I think he's a genius. He's a mental genius, but he's a genius nonetheless.
Oh, well, the best ones are.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously, I echo entirely what you said. For me, I think the most profound impact, very accidentally as well, because it's not something that I'm ever conscious of. I don't do this on purpose. But that man has, for better or worse, I think influenced a single piece of writing that I've ever done, and still try and do in my life. It's not consciously. I don't go, yeah, we're gonna riff on a Russell T Davies type thing here. This would be great. But everything I do, regardless of what the premise starts as, it ends up with every conversation is just normal people chatting and relatable things, families and relationships, and I just, because one of the earliest show movie alongside Star Wars that I was ever deeply in love with was Doctor Who, and what I love about that tenure is just that groundedness in reality. I love these things. It's why, if you do want to catch me talking about Series 10, it's why I have a love for Bill. Return to normality, real people, real conversations, heightens the fun, pulpy sci-fi drama and horror of the TV show. So, yeah, unfortunately, he's broken my brain in a way that is irreplaceable. I say thank you, Russell. Thank you for breaking my brain. I will talk about, again, we're going to talk about the writer's tale in just a little bit, but I just want to read, I am going to read some quotes from it personally, because there's some that have really affected me. In your best Welsh accent?
No, I shan't be doing that. I don't know. But if you follow us on socials, you may have seen, I actually got another Doctor Who tattoo. Hold on a minute. Can I show it to Patreon? Wait a minute. Hang on. I'm going to move into frame. A Doctor Who tattoo, and you probably can't see very well, but it's essentially from Doomsday on Bad Wolf Bay, the Doctor and Rose. And I also got a Bad Wolf tattoo, which isn't very good, I have to say. I don't like it that much because of the way it's been done. But the sentiment's there. This era of the show means a lot to me. And that tattoo as well kind of runs nicely into a quote from the writer's tale, which I think summarises why I love Russell as a writer. And it says, even if you're blubbing at the Doctor and Rose on Bad Wolf Bay in Doomsday, you're empathizing, you're feeling it, and there's an echo of every loss you've ever had in that. And I think that summarizes his writing. It's extremely human, and he is probably, the reason he's my favorite writer is because he explains the human condition like nobody else that I've really seen or heard in my life. And I've written a lot of these quotes from The Writer's Tale in my commonplace notebook. If you don't know what a commonplace is, you can look it up, but it's essentially just like a compilation of quotes and things that I love in just one book here, so I can like refer back to it, because that's how profound some of what he says in this book is. But yeah, I feel like that quote really nicely summarizes why I personally adore the man. I think his journey as a writer on the show as well is one that is so, I mean, it's all personal taste, isn't it? But I personally think he's had way more highs than lows. Some people will disagree with that. You know, there's people in real life that I've spoken to who have said that like they think he can't stick the landing most of the time and all of that, which I firmly disagree with. I really disagree with that. But again, that's just my personal taste. Like,
Yeah.
I think every finale in his first era, from series 1 to 4, he stuck the landing and he stuck it really well. I love the finales of all the series personally.
I think sometimes though there is a tendency, and I understand it, but I feel like there's a tendency with people when they want to analyze media, they want to talk about movies, they want to talk about TV shows. There is an overemphasis on technicality. Sometimes. Does that thread tie into this thread? Has this all come together to make 100% sense and tie up a plot with a very neat bow? And I understand the importance of that, but I always appreciate Russell's writing, because even if the logic is maybe not 100% there, the emotion always delivers.
Yeah,
It's why I can't 100% hate something like Empire of Death.
Yeah.
Because there are pieces of it that I find underwhelming as a conclusion. But if I have to go through that underwhelmingness to get to Ruby reconnecting with her mum in a coffee shop.
Yeah,
like,
that part.
It's elements like that I just think, I kind of almost don't care on the show off technical front, because he centers emotion more than anything.
Yeah.
And that makes it incredibly rewarding and more rewatchable.
And I think people still don't give him, and sorry if this sounds like just the RTD gush episode, trust me, when it gets to Writer's Tale it won't be that, but like I think people forget that he is the reason why the show is what it is today. He brought it back with obviously a whole team of people. It's not just him, but like there's a reason why there was 4 series that he helmed with specials on top of that. Like that speaks for itself, and I still don't think he gets the recognition for that to this day.
No,
that's mad to me. That's mental to me.
Yeah, and obviously I appreciate that it then doesn't continue without Stephen Moffat.
Yeah,
and he does well to sort of keep it relevant and keep it going. But then also you can make the argument for every showrunner who takes over. You can then go, haha, but they kept it going, which is true, and I'm not taking that away from anybody. But yeah, the importance of bringing it back, and I think the fearlessness of the reboot is really inspiring. I think I can't imagine being a fan at the time. Like, as in I like the show, but I can't imagine being, like, say we are the age we are now.
Yeah.
Would love classic Doctor Who, and then watching Rose.
Yeah.
God, I bet people were so insufferable. if we had the internet then for the way that the reboot was handled, God, I bet people hated it. But they don't care. And I love the new stuff as much, not particularly, but do I at least appreciate that Russell still has a seemingly, but fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I'll do what I want. I'll do what I want. I don't really care about angering people because it doesn't matter. And I agree. You should never care about the fans of your TV show.
No, not really. Like, because if you try and please everyone, you're not getting anywhere. You're just not getting anywhere. And I think that's where he's gone wrong in the last series, especially like when he was like, oh, people said they wanted Susan, so we tried to bring her back, and it's like, well, that's your first mistake. Don't listen to Doctor Who fans. Don't listen to them.
Don't
listen to us. In fact, Russell, if you're listening, turn off. But I think, I totally agree. I think the reboot was very, very. He took risks. He took a lot of risks, and they worked in my eyes. And he just knows how to create moments that are deeply affecting, that people still talk about. Like, there are people in my life who stopped watching when David Tennant left. Like, there's a lot of people who, like, my mum is one of those people. And because I'm always banging on about Doctor Who, I have been since I started watching in 2006, because I started in series 2. People will still go on and no, I am a fake fan. So many people still go on about like, oh, do you remember that bit in Doctor Who when Rose got trapped in the parallel universe? I cried. I mean, like, people still go on about things like that all the time. Like, oh, the bit when this and when, I can't think right now, but like,
yeah, it's like still impactful TV. People talk about it in terms like how people still talk about things like The Sopranos or Twin Peaks. It is. Those first 4 series have really stood the test of time, I think.
Like, we did a reel recently of when it was from End of Time Part 2, I think, or End of Time Part 1, where I spoke about how deeply David's regeneration affected me. To this day, weekly, we get comments on that reel of people's experiences watching the regeneration. Weekly.
Yeah. People being like, I thought I was alone.
Yeah. Or like them saying, like, how... Maybe if they didn't like it, but like, people still talk about it weekly on that post. We get comments all the time because it's deeply affecting. It's real,
Yeah, it's peculiar, isn't it? Because it's sort of like it kind of feels like the last time Doctor Who was a cultural mainstay, but it also wasn't.
Yeah,
but I think the Moffat tenure picks up in a sort of era of like fandom really existing, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like it's never been more mainstream whilst also being on the fringes at the same time. It's a very peculiar mix of things, whereas like series 1 to 4, it's appointment viewing for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the kids who are into it. It's for everybody. Whereas I think the latest stuff kind of splits up more into kids who have grown up with it and people who are just like Doctor Who for the sake of it. It's not appointment viewing, but at the same time, again, it was also everywhere. Branding was everywhere. You couldn't miss it. The
Toys R Us. That's what
the DW logo making up the TARDIS was like everywhere in that period.
Everyone had a Doctor Who pencil case at school.
And it's when America really got the show.
Yeah.
Like, really, like, they finally started properly giving it a push in America.
Yeah, like Series 4, they were at Comic-Con. I remember the first time they went to Comic-Con with Russell and David and John Barrowman. But bad and wrong. But, yeah.
But for me, that kind of, like, Matt Smith, like, Series 5, Series 6, especially, Series sort of 6 and 7.
Oh, BBC America was big.
They, like, got massive, and suddenly I'd, like, American YouTubers that I liked watching talking about movies that now I would probably cringe in embarrassment at ever watching. But kind of being like, what the heck is a Doctor Who?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a very big achievement. And as well, I think it speaks for itself in the saying of never skip 9. Like, that is such a famous saying in the fandom, and when it comes to Doctor Who, like, that's just a saying that people got. They're like, what do they mean, never skip 9? And it's like, well, let me tell you. You can't start Doctor Who, in my opinion, properly without starting at least in 2005.
I was going to say my less catchy never skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
It don't work, do it?
Doesn't work, but I still say it just to myself
of course.
In the corner. No.
But I think as well, like when I look at the series as their own separate things, because they're so separate. As much as it's Russell's tenure,
each one feels so distinct.
So distinct. Like series 1, I mean, we've said this before. I'm not going to repeat it, but like they all have their own separate feelings and personalities.
And Taylor Swift albums.
Please listen to the Jack Alexander episode that I did.
It's good fun.
Love Jack. Hi Jack, if you're listening.
Hello.
But I just think it's really. I think with some of the other showrunners, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think with some of their series, they all kind of blend into one era. Like,
yeah, they all feel tonally consistent, which
Yes.
maybe people want. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But there's such an ebb and flow of changing sort of confidence, changing maturity, changing darkness within Russell's era, and I suppose part of that is also just because it's the first and, in my opinion, kind of really only series to properly give the Doctor an arc. There is a traceable character arc through his full series, and I think that helps change the tone of each series in a way that I don't think has ever really been replicated.
Absolutely. And I think as well, we only have a Whoniverse, as we call it, because of Russell.
Yeah.
Who else in the show could have had, in the series 4 finale, bring back all those characters together and you just get it? It makes sense.
And the thing is, I'm not a particularly big canon person who said this before.
No.
But I think him literally pulling kind of everything into canon also does just make the world much richer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I mean, a lot of people forget that, it's the Eighth Doctor being in Human Nature, Family of Blood as a drawing is the first time at that point the show's been able to acknowledge the existence of the TV movie.
He respects the show so much. He does, you know.
They've played clips from Dimensions of Time in the show, a stupid children need sketch show.
Yeah.
Is now canon. Like Russell's always pulling at canon. And even if he delivered the most unwatchable piece of garbage ever on the planet, I would still also thank him for coming back to the show, and first order of business being to put the entire archive on BBC iPlayer.
That is... Honestly, as well, the scripts on... I actually... like.
Oh, yeah.
The whole Whoniverse rebranding is my favourite thing that has come out of Russell coming back. And I know it's not just Russell, it's a whole team of people, but we're talking about it as an umbrella term at the moment.
Yeah. And the way that they always talk about it in interviews is that, like, he basically came in and was just like, right, I want this, I want this, I want this.
Yeah.
Like, I watched the making of the Daleks in colour, and Ben Cook is talking in that.
Oh God. It's happening already.
But he's like, like all my creative projects started, I got an email or like a call from Russell T Davies. He's like, I'm going back to Doctor Who, and first thing I want is all of the material archived on BBC iPlayer. Second thing I want is colorizations of episodes.
There you
go. Maybe some of that is embellishing, but like I can literally imagine him just going to walk into a room and being like, I want this done.
You have to respect it. And again, like I was about to say, the script thing, which they need to update because not all of them are on there. But like, what an amazing resource! That's such an amazing resource, because that's how you learn to write, is reading other people's work.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to talk about it in any detail, but not too long ago, about this time last year actually, I wrote a script, and it was in a vaguely different format than I would normally write. Well, it's TV. I've never really written TV before. So yeah, sometimes just to like, if I had questions about maybe how things should be presented, or even just like pacing, length, things like that. I think even just length of a script. I didn't know how long sort of TV scripts like run for.
Yeah.
I had the Star Beast script open in front of me all the time. Yeah. So I could just refer to it, because that was what I was aiming for.
I would like looking at the Father's Day script. Shock horror to no one. But yeah, it's just such a good resource. I think having scripts available is really important. I just think if you are going to sit there and disrespect Russell, think twice. Sorry. Like, obviously, I'm not saying you can't criticise the man. Don't get me wrong. But I think a lot of the criticism that people level against him is mental. Like, it's actually fabrications at this point. It's like, yes, he can make mistakes. Of course, I feel like some people are going to take this episode today as us just being like, he can do no wrong. But like, that's not what it is at all. Again, we'll get to it. But you can't, the man has done so much, and his talent cannot be denied, and God forbid he makes a shit series here and there. Jesus Christ, like give him a break.
And again, I feel like we've had this discussion in our personal lives, but like I feel like there seems to be less personal criticism of Stephen Moffat, Creative criticism, definitely.
Yes, of
but
course.
Personal criticism, I don't see as much of it.
No.
And I think part of the beauty of Russell, but also what opens him up, I think, to more criticism, is him being honest and emotionally vulnerable and open in a way that I think shocks a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something we'll talk about in the writer's tale, is the kind of like the balance between being open, being honest, being blunt, and how much that I think can rub people the wrong way.
Yes.
If they kind of realise they don't like your personality.
Vulnerability is uncomfortable for people.
Yeah, it is.
Should we do our quick ranking of the specials then before we get into writer's tale? Because we remembered that obviously, because we were thinking, did we do a specials breakdown? And we were like, nah, that's silly. That's silly. Yeah. It just doesn't feel necessary. But we want to do the ranking. God damn it!
And every single person at home as well is just going, please talk about the 11th hour.
Yeah.
And we keep doing other things.
This is the final bookmark before we get... Next episode is 11th hour.
The next episode is the 11th hour. We can confirm 100%.
Yeah.
Next 2 weeks' time.
Come on.
The 11th hour.
You can do it. Hold out. It's fine. Before we get into writer's tale, let's do our ranking of the specials. So, there's 5 specials in total.
So easy for me.
This took no effort.
This took me
10 seconds.
I made a note, but yeah, literally, I could have told you off the top of my head.
I know that our rankings are going to be very different, except for the first spot, I think. Oh, actually, no. I think we're going to be vastly different, actually. No, do you know what?
No, I don't know. Yeah.
I'll put it in now. I think these are going to be completely different.
I think so. When you said first spot, I thought you meant first spot as in first one to read out, which would be the worst one. So that's why I got confused. No, I think we probably have the same favourite.
Do you think?
But, yeah.
Okay.
But I think the list will differ.
Let's find out then.
Okay.
Number 5, you go first.
Yeah. Okay, tit for tat. My absolute least favourite of the RTD specials is Planet of the Dead.
You're going to hate me for this. You're about to hate me.
It's can I guess?
Go on.
Okay, it's End of Time Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hate it though. Can I just say this? Sorry.
It's
I
fine,
don't dislike.
I do hate Planet of the Dead.
I don't dislike, me personally, Damla, on this podcast, I like all of the specials. I think as an actual segment of the show, enjoy it very much so.
Yeah.
But this is my least favourite one. Sorry. Except for the last 10 minutes. Love the last 10 minutes. But the rest of it, can't be asked. Number 4.
Number 4 is The Next Doctor.
Okay. Sorry, this is so different. We're so different. We're so different. Number 4 is End of Time Part 1.
It's because we're setting up for getting into talking about Series 5.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got to have the differences now. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Number 3 for me is End of Time Part 1.
Okay. For me, number 3 is Planet of the Dead.
Number 2 for me is The End of Time Part 2.
Okay.
I also, just again, to caveat that, because you talk about not liking it, I feel like I explained it enough in the episode, but it is an episode...
You gave it a 5, babe. Stand behind it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it was an episode that I never normally personally resonated with, and I think it's messy as fuck. But
you fuck with it heavily.
Yeah, the emotion, right?
Yeah.
That's what the emotion is at the forefront of that episode, and I think emotionally it sticks the landing, and the way it made me feel, especially also coming to the end of that journey by doing it on this show as well, just made it feel like the sort of perfect little capping off. So
capping off.
So yeah, technically a mess, but the emotion's there, and that's what gets me.
And that's your truth, and that's fine.
I think it's a 5.
My number 2 is The Next Doctor.
Okay.
Because that is probably in my top 3 Christmas specials, honestly. Like, I rewatch it every year and I love it so much.
Rosita.
Well,
no surprise there. Number 1
no surprise here.
Daughters of Mars.
Daughters of Mars, because say it with me, best episode of the show to exist. Yeah. Thank you.
I know you said say it with you, and then I just sort of, even though I knew what you were going to say.
Honestly, it's just outstanding. It's absolutely perfect.
I don't think it's my personal favourite, but...
Well, no, my favourite is Father's Day. I mean, yes.
That's
but,
but I think it's objectively the best one.
Yes, objectively, 100%.
Yeah.
It's in my top 10, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, it's in my top 10. I could think of a handful of other episodes that I would be like, oh no, maybe this, but like, it's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we should have done.
100%.
Should have come up with the best Russell T Davies episodes.
Oh my gosh, should we do top 3 off the top of our head? Should we just do it? Come on. Come
Okay.
on.
Top 3.
Top 3.
Oh, God. Okay.
Top 3. I'm going to just say... So, like, written episodes, yeah?
Episodes that he's written.
Yeah. Shall I do mine? Because I know
Yeah.
mine without a doubt.
Yeah, go on.
So, first one, say it with me, Father's Day, obviously.
Father's Day.
Incredible, perfect. I can't watch it all the time. Even though it's not my favourite, I can't watch it because it makes me sob. Second is Midnight.
Yes.
And then the third one, and you're all going to hate me, but I don't care because it's my truth, New Earth.
Lovely.
Because it's my first episode, but also like rewatching it holds up to me because it's the perfect balance of seriousness and comedy and character arcs and cats. Love it.
I love that.
Go on,
I'm
babe.
saying-
You tell me.
Look, I'm lumping Bad Wolf Parting of the Ways as one story. I don't care. Shut up.
Okay, you speak your truth. Oh,
Look. Shut
if
up.
I had a top 4, it'd be Parting of the Ways. If it was top 4, Parting of the Ways. Okay.
But yeah, if you don't want to count them, I would put Parting of the Ways before Bad Wolf. But I'm lumping them in as one.
Oh no, no. Wait, no.
This is your game, darling.
It is. Oh, but I really love New Earth.
Do I get to speak?
Sorry. I just love Parting of the Ways, though. I love it so much. It's so good.
No one ever expects Parting of the Ways until it comes along.
Okay, but if I had a top 4, just know that would be the second, the third, fourth one. Anyway, sorry.
Look, it's all subject to change.
Oh, I hate myself for coming up with this. Go on, Karen.
But yeah, look, I would pick Parting of the Ways as an individual episode, but I'm lumping that together
That's fine.
as a two-parter, one story. So
I'm allowing you.
Bad Wolf, Parting of the Ways, Utopia.
Oh,
Not as a three-parter with those three, just Utopia on
Just
its own in a
Utopia.
vacuum. I love the other episodes, but Utopia.
let's be serious. Yeah, let's be serious.
Let's be so serious right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not even joking. I'm not joking.
No,
right
okay.
now. I'm not trying to be funny.
No.
I do mean this. Love monsters.
Speak on it. No, speak on it. Yeah.
Love monsters.
Speak your
It's
truth.
a perfect distillation of everything I love about Russell T Davies' Doctor Who
Oh man.
into a single episode
that's a
without
beau-
the Doctor being in it.
That's a beautiful top 3, I have to say.
Thank you. It's cool taste. It's eclectic.
I think everything you've said and what I've said, that's like my just
Well,
under
yeah,
my top 10.
because I was also like, oh my god, I do love Midnight as well. Like I would so put Midnight through. Oh my god, but yeah, I think together our list combined, we got a pretty good top 8.
I think
top 6.
you picking Love and Monsters, me picking New Earth, just tells you what kind of podcast this is. And the fact we're being so serious. I'm not even saying it to be funny. I'm being so serious.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like, oh wow, I picked a wacky one. I love monsters.
I love it too.
Just listen to our review.
Do you know what upsets me? The fact that we almost could have called this this podcast, the Linda Group or something, the Linda podcast.
Yeah.
I have regrets every day.
London Investigation Detective Agency.
Or it could have been London Investigation, Damla, and then in parentheses, Elliott. Linday.
Yeah, no reason for it to be London at all. It's fantastic.
Use that podcast name if you want, but please credit the two of us for hearing it here. Thank you. Anyway.
Oh, bless bliss.
Bless bliss. Oh my god, I'm gonna rewatch it tonight. I'm rewatching it tonight.
I think I might too actually.
Do you know what I might do? I might just do a little rewatch tonight.
I haven't seen it for a hot minute.
I love Russell T Davies. I'm sorry. When I think about rewatching the show, I always start at Chris and then get to series 2 and series 3, and then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll stop now. But
that's the interesting thing is talking about. I think Love and Monsters for us is also a perfect microcosm of like us being the only people on the planet who love series 2. I've said to you before, literally, if you take like Fear Her out of the equation,
it's perfect.
Series 2
banger after banger.
It's a perfect series for me. I love every episode.
Girl in the Fireplace, but
I always forget about Girl in the Fireplace.
But I still appreciate it being there because it's part of the visual identity of the show.
Yeah, I don't even hate like Fear Her. I suppose.
Yeah.
Like I just think it's but yeah, I always forget about Girl in the Fireplace. Remove those two, and you got a perfect series. I've
said this before. If the weird grooming part wasn't in Girl in the Fireplace, I'd give it a 5 out of 5 because everything else about it, I actually. Oh, and except the Rose thing. Okay, no, I'd give it a 4. But like,
yeah,
it's just the grooming thing and the Rose Tyler of it all that pisses me off. That's it.
Yeah.
because actually it looks really good. And yeah.
What fact?
Stephen, when I catch you. Anyway. Right. I want to say
Turt's tail.
something. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Let's tell. You're a funny kid. You're a funny kid.
I'm the Benjamin Cook to your Russell T Davies.
Right. I have two things I want to say before we get into this section. Two things. Benjamin Cook. So I'm going to say some things about Benjamin Cook in this episode. Want to clarify. He's obviously a talented person, etc., etc. But apparently he likes to at people online when anyone says anything negative about him. First of all, grow up.
Yes. He name searches himself on Twitter.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to send this episode to him and then he starts ranting about us, I'll say this now, Ben. I respect you as a person. You're very talented. You've done a lot of good for the show. And I actually met you when I was like a teenager once, and it was very nice interaction. So I'll say that.
Yeah.
But I also have things I want. So I just want to put that out there because I know that he is known for criticizing people when they criticize him, which is not, again, bad and wrong. Sorry, Ben, grow up. I bought the book. Okay? I bought it. So yeah, getting that out of the way. Ben, don't try it, babe, because it ain't cute. It ain't cute.
The unfiltered access that he has to Russell T Davies in order to produce this book is incredible. Sorry, and I also think as well, we'll talk about it more in detail. I think specifically there are things that Benjamin Cook has said outside of this book and on Twitter and the way he conducts himself that I don't agree with, and that has kind of coloured how I feel about him. Some of the things in this book, I find it a bit tiresome, but I also kind of appreciate sometimes that you need to play your part a little bit, and
absolutely
sometimes to get someone to be amenable to things, you need to massage an ego and
absolutely be
a little bit sycophantic.
100%.
We will talk about it. Sorry, I just had to say that.
No. Thank you. No, I was going to forget to touch on that, so thank you so much for that. So I need to say this on my end about this book. Again, I'm holding it up for Patreon people. Let's hold it together. Hold on. Let's do that. Stunning. We just took the thumbnail. Love that. I did not finish this book, and I have to put I have to put it out there because I am a journalist. And I have to speak my truth. I read, so again, I'm showing it for Patreon. I probably read that much. So a quarter of it. And I'm going to tell you for why. I have a big belief in this world that DNFing books, so did not finish, that's what it stands for if you don't know. DNFing books is essential to living life. You cannot put yourself through a book that you're not really enjoying. That's not saying it's a bad book. So people are going to think, oh, she hated it. No, didn't. I also have ADHD. Don't think I've ever mentioned it once, not even a little bit. I find big books really intimidating, and I find little text really intimidating. And also, it's just very long. It's very long. And Elliot, being an incredible friend that they are anyway, but basically gave me the permission and went, you can stop reading, by the way. Like, I'm nearly finished it. It's okay.
Yeah. So I had started reading this book in 2023.
Yes.
I stopped. Start of this year, I started reading it again because I knew we were going to be doing this episode. I finished it, about halfway through Series 2 coming. Probably about May, I finished it.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading it a lot.
Yeah.
I was taking my Kindle with me everywhere I went.
Can I also just say, I didn't have a lot of time. I'm just saying that as well.
It's fine, I'm not.
Yeah. No, you're not. I know some people will. Ben, I'm looking at you. But
but I take my Kindle with me everywhere I went, and I was like, I got to finish this. I got to finish this thing. And I was genuinely enjoying the read. Sometimes I was like, God, so
there's a
many
lot of
emails.
filler.
But I was enjoying the content. I found it engaging. And I'd done all that, and I was like, yes, achievement. And then it must have been actually before the series came out, because before Series 2 came out, because I remember saying to you, like, if you want to read it, not to be like, but you've got like 8 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Realistically, to kind of get it done. That's fine. And you started reading it, and you were to be being like, I've read this much, I'll get through this bit. This is so fascinating. And then, West to be one day, you're just like, I can't. I can't.
I didn't have the time. I don't have the time. I'm sorry. But the worst part is, this was my idea. This book was my idea to cover it. That was my idea.
But again, it's a bit, I'm a nice person. I was like, look, I enjoyed reading this enough. I got enough out of it. I've always kind of wanted to read it.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't have to do this.
Yeah.
We don't have to do this.
Yeah.
But you still wanted to do it anyway.
I think in order to do an RTD retrospective, we have to look at the holy text, which is the writer's tale, because it is such a rich text. It's such a rich text. And just to clarify, I will finish this at some point. It's just, this year has been a lot for me. And I just couldn't. I have a lot of notes on it. I am still going to contribute, but to a point, I have to stop because I don't know. Right? And some people may say, Damla, you have no right to talk about this book because you didn't finish it. I still have things I want to say. And from Elliott's confirmings, because they did read the whole thing, a lot of my thoughts are still present throughout the entirety of the book. Just needed to get that disclaimer out there.
It also, as well, is responsible for. So I've always loved reading. I do struggle to fit it into my life. I tend to sway towards things that are easier and less time consuming to do, or more passive.
Yes.
But thanks to reading The Writer's Tale, I have now read like 4 books this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would not have read otherwise because I got so much into a routine of reading this book that I have now not wanted to put a book down. So
that's amazing.
So thanks.
See, this put me into a reading slump. It did the opposite because I'm an active reader. I read most of the time. But I don't read long books because, again, I find them quite intimidating. And that's my cross to bear, okay? But this actually put me in a reading slump.
Yeah.
Because of how much time it was consuming for me. And, again, I have ADHD. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I find it really tricky. But I just want to say, so getting into it, first thing I want to say, and I mean this so sincerely, like the most sincerely I can ever say it, the vulnerability, I'm going to stop holding it. It's really annoying me. I keep holding it up to the camera. It's really irritating. The vulnerability in this book, The Writer's Tale, Russell T Davies, Benjamin Cook, I have to just... It is a really big deal to be vulnerable in any kind of way, creatively, online, in a book, whatever. It's it's a very vulnerable piece of work. And Russell lays it all out on the table, especially at the time, because obviously this was written a while ago and I'm sure he's changed in many ways, but at the time he's basically put every struggle, every bit of, like, there's goss in here, there's fucking tea in here.
Yeah, if
you love tea, look no further, you know. And I just have to respect it. Like, the vulnerability is mental. Like, it's crazy, and I applaud them both for it.
It's very difficult to explain, I think, especially to people who aren't creative, who wouldn't describe themselves as being artists, that what you're doing is so not important.
Yeah.
You're not saving lives.
Yeah.
You're not making important political decisions. You're writing entertainment or art.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's probably a read on this book of sort of like, wow, it's not that deep. Like, you're writing Doctor Who. It's not that deep. And normally I would also agree, right? Because I hate people who don't acknowledge, I guess, their relative privilege and get stressed about things that aren't worth getting stressed about. You've never experienced real stress, it's not, the stress that you're facing by missing this deadline at work is nothing compared to like the stresses that millions of other people face on a daily basis, people in Gaza, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
On the other hand, as somebody who writes just as a hobby, because nobody will hire me, and
bad and wrong, writing, not people not hiring you, just to clarify, sorry. And I would
never dare ever be like trying to compare myself to Russell. That's not what I'm saying, just for clarity. But as someone who does it as a hobby, it is that life consuming.
Yeah.
It is so intrinsically, almost unexplainably a part of yourself. And I'm
Yeah.
sure for other writers it's different. I read this book. Part of the reason I got hooked is because I read this book and discovered that me and Russell T Davies have a lot of similarities in the way that we write and think about stories and how it makes us feel and how we process it. And that was insane and weird and makes me feel like I've accidentally done that as a stalker thing. But it's not true. It's just a strange coincidence. But that made the book feel instantly more relatable for me. But it is so hard to explain. I have a brain buzzing with ideas all of the time, and it does genuinely a lot of the time feel like if you don't get these things out and put down on paper, that you will never be happy.
Yeah.
But also getting them down and writing them is frustrating and irritating, and I never feel more alive with adrenaline, but also more depressed than when I'm trying to write something. And I don't have deadlines to meet. I don't have people to please. I do it for a hobby. So I give Russell so much grace in this book.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see the best and worst parts of myself reflected in this total stranger. And I know that if I, God forbid, was put in charge of Doctor Who, God forbid, I would be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. And so I find it hard sometimes to objectively judge his lateness.
Yeah.
and he's emailing someone at 3 a.m. being like, I might just jump in Cardiff Bay because I can't think of a good enough conclusion to a Dalek story. I get it. I really get it. So I feel like that's just an important caveat for everybody.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be relatively defensive, but it's because, it's like someone extracted my brain and put it in a 60-year-old Welsh man. Yeah, and it's a really odd book to deal with for me personally.
You personally resonate with it, and that you can't argue with that. You can't argue with that. I think as well, something that people don't realise, and not that I'm a showrunner or work in like production in TV or film, but people don't realise how relentless it is to work in the film and TV industry. I could do a whole episode on our other podcast, Serving Cinema. I think there's a lot, I find the industry very problematic. I find it actually quite disgusting a lot of the time, the hours people have to work to make a fucking TV show. It's not that deep, Jesus Christ. But running a show especially is difficult, and I think people don't, again, we spoke about it. Running 3 shows, which, save it. The Reality War, again, as an episode that we, liked up to a point, but ultimately is a mess. Again, there's not just creative decisions that have to be made. There has to be logistical decisions, trying to make loads of people happy, trying to not go over budget, etc., etc. I just think if you want to get a better understanding of how TV is made, this is also another really good resource for that.
And it sounds horrible, and I'm not saying I endorse this at all, because I do not. But, and I think you would agree with this, having had, you've had more experience within the actual industry than I have, but we both had the same education, the same exposure to it at a certain age. Kind of just have to be a horrible person. Sometimes to really make it like into the echelons of places like where Russell is. You can be friendly, but you have to be ruthless.
A bit ruthless.
And it's for a lot of people, I think that is the shocking thing, because it's like, wow, like I don't think I could be that ruthless.
Why do you think I'm in film marketing? Why do you think I'm in film marketing? I can't.
But I don't.
Oh no.
But again, though. But I say I don't think I don't think I could be that ruthless. But also, I am. Don't ever send me your work to read, because if you say you want criticism, I will not just go, oh, my criticism is it's good.
Yeah.
I will give you feedback.
Yeah. Feedback is very important.
And people don't like it. And there are portions of this where I'm like, I understand, I'm sure it doesn't feel good for that individual writer, but also, your back's against the wall, you need to make a good series, and if a writer's not pulling a script together, sometimes you need to sit them down in Starbucks and tell them they're I see it from both angles, and it is really, really difficult. And I think Russell kind of needs to do that a bit more these days. I think he needs to take
I think
he needs to take Pete McTeague into a McDonald's and get him to improve Lucky Day as a script.
I think as well, though, another reason why I had to stop reading, and this is leading into the point I want to make and to the wider discussion.
Yeah.
I had to stop reading this because it's like, when people say don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always said this before, I would never want to work on the show because it's something that I love and it brings me joy. And the minute you start to monetize off of that, I think is where all the joy gets sucked out of it. IMO, okay? Don't get me wrong, if anyone wants me to cut a Doctor Who trailer, let me know. Let me know. Because that's just like a little, one-off buy. It was making me actively overanalyze the show.
Mm.
And that was upsetting for me. I just could not look at the show like that. And I was like, Elliot, it's making me not like the show. I can't read anymore.
Well, we had this discussion, not you and me, although we did have this discussion.
Yes,
Funnily enough,
yes.
we had a bit of a discussion about this actually on the season 2 Strictly Come Hamster.
Uh-huh.
Where we had a brief talk about how I think we just know too much about the show now.
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody knows somebody
who
is working on the show and knows what's going on. And it does colour how you approach it and how you feel about it and how you think about things. And I think for us growing up with series 1 to 4, you don't have an analytical eye over those things. You don't, because you're not reading news stories, you're not reading rumours, you don't know people who are working on the show. You're a child. And it has been difficult, I think, to grow up and kind of reach adulthood and be like, there's this thing that I really like as a child that I still really like and still has a massive emotional resonance with me. But also, it sounds sloppy and unprofessional and nasty and harboured abusers. It's bad. It's bad and wrong and a horrible thing to learn. And I think we know so much about it already that I think I can give you so much grace for starting to read a book where we already kind of have these outward feelings encroaching on this show.
Yeah.
And you're trying to be like, okay, I acknowledge that, but I still enjoy it. And then you start reading this and you're just kind of like, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Well, it's like, I've said this to you before.
Almost actively ruining it for yourself at that point.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, for me, like one of my all-time favourite films of all time ever is Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
It, as I've grown up and learned about the behind the scenes of Wizard of Oz, it has coloured how I feel about it. I still love it. Very important film still. But like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, you should shine a light on things that are happening. You know this.
It's like the Wizard of Oz is great. It's one of the greats of all time. Is it great enough to warrant, people getting burnt and poisoned? No.
Abusing Judy Garland? No, it's not.
No art is ever worth that amount of suffering.
That's the thing. But yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. But essentially, like, one of the points that I want to kind of touch on is how, and leading from what I just said, should I say, it sounded like working on Doctor Who was horrible, to be really honest. And, Ross T. Davies, again, another leading from the vulnerability point, is he's a procrastinator. He's a procrastinator in the absolute complete sense of the word. Like, he will not write something unless he has like 2 days left to do it, and then he'll bang it out. And you know what? I have to say, relatable.
Again, I understand this kind of like, there is nothing in my head. It's not writer's block, but there's just nothing is coming. You don't feel like you're in the mood. I've been wanting to write. I've been writing something at the moment, which maybe we'll talk about vaguely later. But like, it's like I've been wanting to do this for like 2 weeks, and I've had the story in my head for like 4 years. And there's no reason why 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 years ago, I could have sat down at a computer and typed it out. I just chose not to. And it took someone kicking my ass into gear for me to actually do it. And even then, some nights I'll be like, yeah, I should do like 2 hours of work on that thing. I'll just watch the telly instead. It's really bad. So again, should that be happening? Should that be happening when you're in charge of Doctor Who? No, but also, do I understand? Yes.
The only part of it when I was reading it where I was like, Russell, come on, babe, is when his active not writing and like putting stuff off was affecting other departments. That's when I was like, okay, I'm side-eyeing you slightly for this. But that's like, again, nuance.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's difficult as well because it's like it's also it happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, and yeah, it's kind of all of that's kind of in theory been forgotten, and also you would assume erased for the new series of the show, but
essentially, like mixed in with the really insane low budget, mixed in with having to deal with people's personal issues. Like David Tennant was going through some health issues, family loss.
Is it during
things
series
like
4? His mother dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, that's your lead character, like having to write around that. And again, they were very gracious about it, amazing. But like, there's so much stuff that they have to deal with. And on top of that, Russell isn't helping himself because he's so painful. And again, I'm going to say it so many times in this episode. The vulnerability is so admirable because he's like, oh, I read Gallifrey Base. Like, because back then it wasn't really Twitter, it wasn't really Instagram, TikTok. It was, online forums like Gallifrey Base. And he's like, I actively read how shit I am on there all the time. And it's like, Russell, you shouldn't do that, babes. That ain't good for you, darling.
Yeah. It must be hard as well. Like especially because especially then as well, but like even now it must be even harder where you're just like you can't even escape it really.
No.
Like you don't have to go specifically onto a forum to see it. You can now
because he actively seeks it out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's now just everywhere.
That was really interesting to read. But yeah, he was just in this personal hell by the sounds of it, of just like because he never gave himself a holiday.
No.
As well. And it was just like every waking moment was writing, organising, producing, looking over other people's scripts, meeting with actors, finding actors for certain roles. Like I found it really interesting when he was casting. So, this is kind of, a lot of people know about this now. I've got it here in the book. I've tabbed it here. So it was really interesting to see, because the book mainly covers series 4 and the specials.
Yeah.
And what it was like during that time. And he has there's a whole series 4 breakdown page of what the initial idea was for series 4. And the main companion was called Penny.
Yes. No.
And he had an actor in mind, but we still don't know who that was to this day, I don't think, from my research. But
yeah, I don't think you said.
But he basically had an idea for someone to play Penny, and he'd run into that actor by accident completely, and was like, oh, it was like running into the character on the street, which I found quite funny. But like, so he had Starship Titanic, which is what Voyage of the Damned was originally called. The order was completely different. Like, Fires of Pompeii came like right in the middle. He had an episode about Nazis. He had the Sontaran 2-parter planned. One called Century House, which is the TV show, the TV show Most Haunted. It's like basically like about, the Doctor being part of like a haunted reality TV show, which to this day, because I've heard about this episode, to this day I'm like, I want to see it, please.
Yes. Yeah,
where is it?
I would watch that.
Stuff like that, like it's really interesting. And he had the idea for Davros ages ago, and it's just seeing the development, invaluable. It's so much, like literally every day was just jam-packed full of, like, there was no time for life. And that's, again, that goes into the whole like industry, film and TV industry being relentless, which again, bad and wrong. People need sleep, people need to eat, and people need to have a personal life. It's a fucking TV show. Grow up. And another thing that I spoke about it with Josh Carr on the like alternate timelines episode, but like kind of going on from like the development thing where we're seeing early ideas of episodes. I still find it funny that they were going to do a J.K. Rowling episode.
Oh God, we got so lucky.
We're so lucky. I mean, we had the few lines in Shakespeare Code, but yeah, it's just some of these ideas were so. We're
gonna do Under
odd.
the Dome. That was like
Under the Dome.
Yeah, that's like what's the first episode's pitched as, isn't it? Is with Penny is
Yes,
trapped, like the suburb getting trapped under a giant glass dome.
Well, this is not The Simpsons. This is not The Simpsons movie.
But that's the thing, I find it really funny because, like, Russell's like, I just saw the Simpsons movie. I'm really glad I didn't do that thing under the dome. That would have been really stupid. It's like, yeah, but it is also a Stephen King book. Like before it was the Simpsons movie. But again, I do love that though. That's like become the cultural touch point for something trapped under a big glass dome is the Simpsons movie. And I'm glad because if Stephen King has no legacy, I'll be happy.
And yeah, there's some of the tidbits in here. Again, like this is another random one. It's not even to do with like developing the show, but like he got asked to write for Star Wars.
Yeah, met George
Casual
Lucas.
drop.
Yeah,
met George Lucas. And then Russell, because at this point, actually, funnily enough, when he starts this book, he's acknowledging that he knows he's leaving the show. He hadn't announced it yet, but he knows he's going to leave after the specials. But like he got offered to do Star Wars, and he was like, the thought of writing int spaceship made me want to die. And I was just like, well, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I think. But again, though, it's something that I feel like we can appreciate about Russell's writing is that he did Doctor Who. It's the thing that made him incredibly famous. He'd written before that, written some successful series before that, but this was the thing that propelled him into being a huge name. But he, other than coming back to the show, he's never done Doctor Who type things. Sci-fi
is not his bag.
You know what I mean? Like it's like again,
contemporary stuff is his bag.
I appreciate Moffat, but like I don't know. There's something about like he's like little niche just seems to kind of be British institutions. Dracula, Sherlock, Doctor Who, Jekyll and Hyde. Like I mean, I know he's done coupling. That's but it's like. I don't know. I can kind of almost feel those projects, but everything that Russell's done since he's left felt so eclectic.
Yes,
and I appreciate that diversity of writing portfolio.
Same.
Yeah, and honestly, sci-fi. I love sci-fi, but like doing cheap sci-fi must be so boring.
Yeah, but then also with sci-fi, a lot of the good stuff doesn't ever get recognised. A lot of the time, like I've mentioned it before. There was a TV. The reason why I loved this TV show is called Intergalactic. I did work on some marketing for it, so not being biased, but like it's a show that no one knows about, literally nobody, because it was on Sky. Bad and Wrong, like they never promote their shows properly. And I said what I said. But it was like a show that was supposed to have legs, and it was very reminiscent of Russell Doctor Who for me. But yeah, it's like a lot of good sci-fi never gets recognition, and the stuff that does half the time is like okay.
Yeah, like
it's
tricky.
Like
when it comes to movies, I like really stupid, out there gonzo sci-fi.
Yeah,
that is just ridiculous, but like it's hard to do that on a TV budget. Like my sci-fi, I like I'm not the first one so much, but I like Avatar because it's weird.
Yeah.
I like The Phantom Menace because it's weird. I like Dune because it's weird. Like, but it's hard to do weird on a big scale on TV. You just kind of have to. Again, I like Love and Monsters. It's weird.
It's hard to do unique sci-fi. It's hard.
Yeah, because you've got sets and money and budget to worry about, and this. Yeah.
And this brings me on to a big negative I have with this book. And again, I know I've not finished it. Shut up. But like, Elliott's
actually,
confirmed.
Criticism invalid. You've not read it.
No, but Elliott's confirmed because again they've read it. That this is a thing that is it's throughout the entire text. So
yes.
Benjamin Cook is an arseleg.
Yeah.
And I can't say it in any other way than that because at some points I was genuinely just gagging because it was like, and not in a good way. It's like literally like, you know, Russell, because you're so amazing and you do this and that. And obviously that's me like generalizing here, but like,
no, it's like I said at the start, you know, I appreciate sometimes to get a level of access to people and to keep them sweet, you need to, be a bit of a sycophant and a bit kind of playing into their myth, their legend a little bit, but it can get really, really tiring.
Really tiring.
To read where every response to every bit of idea or scripting
is amazing.
Is just, wow, amazing. Yeah, like...
Because Russell told him everything. Like, which I find mad. Like, he really trusted Ben, which is, again, amazing that they have that relationship. And I think it's important to be able to be fully honest with people. Like, you're one of my people for that. Like, when I have things going on in my life or ideas, I tell you everything and very unfiltered with you. And it's important to have people like that in your life. But, like, you would never bullshit me if I sent you a script of mine, because I have ideas, because I'm not a writer by trade. I don't think I'm very good at it. I do it purely for fun. Elliot knows that when I've written a script, it's going to go straight to them, and I expect them to be fully honest.
I was going to say, I can't confirm or deny because I've never read anything that you've done.
No.
No. Well,
uni-ish.
I was going to say, I've seen a film that you've directed from a script that you've written.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was good.
Thank you, I appreciate it. But like, do you know what I mean? Like, I know that when I send it to you, you will be fully, and I expect that. I want you to be honest with me.
Yeah, and it's always context depending. If someone just sends it for, like, you know, it's just, I want you to read this, whatever. Like, I will. But if someone sends something and they're like, and I like, but I want feedback. And I think feedback is very healthy. Yeah. But I understand that not everybody is immediately in the headspace to accept it, especially if it's going to be less than positive.
Exactly.
But yeah, if someone asks for feedback and they want feedback, they're looking for feedback, they're sending you something specifically for feedback, they are bouncing ideas off you, it is wrong to just say, wow, that's genius.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I have a friend who, whenever I've got ideas for things, I bounce ideas off him, because, like, he won't necessarily shoot ideas down, but he'll just kind of be like, oh, yeah, okay. But if he finds it interesting, but that's really interesting. But then he comes up with ideas, and we just kind of bounce them back and forth. And sometimes those ideas will contradict other ideas, but it feels healthy. Yeah. And I feel like there's so much room to do that in the writer's tale. And sometimes Ben does do it. I'm not saying he doesn't. There are moments where he's like, oh, but what about this? But, like, there are just other moments where he refuses to engage in any criticism. There are moments where I think, for maybe the detriment of some of the show, Ben's like, you know, no, you've got to do the thing that the fans will love. You know, he's like, you got to bring the Time Lords back. You have to do this. Yeah. And it's like, no, you don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ben doesn't know what he's talking about. He writes a Doctor Who magazine. Like,
like, you know, I just think.
But I also understand that, like, that level of trust in someone who maybe is not within that sphere. I mean, again, this person I bounce ideas off, right? Like, they've written stuff, but they wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm a writer, I write all the time.
Yeah,
but like, I bounce ideas off them because I just really respect their opinion, and it would be hard and weird to have them just be like, it's perfect, it's great.
Exactly.
Why would you want that?
But that is, for me, it was jarring. It was very jarring to read, because sometimes I'd read it and I'd be like, oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
God.
And it's like, oh, this bit's not even that good, Ben.
Come on, Ben. And, you know, I also found it very, and this is just like, because, you know, this has been brought up about the book multiple times, and I want to address it as well, is obviously there are some things that they say that are, especially nowadays, it's like, oh, you can't say that.
Yeah.
You can't say that. You actually can't say that. Like, you know, like Russell's obsession with Russell Tovey is, I mean, first of all, I understand, because Russell Tovey, I love you.
Yeah, it's stuff that feels like you can say that in an email to a friend.
Yes, exactly. But you shouldn't put it in the book. Like, get rid of it.
Like, why would you want that published? Yeah, like, I would not want that published. That's
insane. Don't talk about Charlie Hunnam's ass, please.
No, it's peculiar. It's peculiar to have it published for people to read. That's what is peculiar about it. Yeah, I mean, some of it is like just language of the time that is just unfortunate. You know, like there are, you know, I think some of the way that in the book Russell talks about lesbians is always like relatively unflattering.
Yeah.
I'd like to imagine that he's changed. There was at the time sort of particularly centering of gay men as sort of the forward movement of the LGBTQ plus crowd, and far be it from a gay man to ever be misogynistic
exactly
or transphobic. So
you're not immune from it,
Yeah, like come on. So there's definitely there's stuff like that. There's some racist language.
Yeah, again, we have to say again, this was written a long time ago. It was published in so this second version, it's not long after the first one. This was published in 2010. So I think the first one was 2009, this was 2010. But again, we picked the extended edition because it's the original plus more. So
yeah.
So yeah, it was a long time ago. People do change, and we're not saying they're bad people. It's just uncomfortable to read sometimes. But they're like my main criticisms of the book, I would say. It's like, again, I didn't read the whole thing. I know. I fucking know. Because I can feel the people coming at me. But it's just like, it's hard to read Russell sometimes actively fucking over people in the department because he's just not written something. And it's like, okay, well, that's causing other people stress. But at the same time, I respect the vulnerability with his procrastination and his like being very vulnerable about his mental health, because he was going through it mentally. Because again, if you don't rest and look after your body, you're going to shut down. That's just a fact of life and the human body. And also, like, just Ben's incessant arse licking is very... I don't know what else to call it. Sorry, I don't know what else to call it. Just like being overly complimentary. No, it's arse licking is what it is. I find it annoying. But as Elliot has said multiple times, sometimes you need to act a certain way to get the best information from people. And not that he's being manipulative towards Russell at all, and that's not what I'm saying, but and then, like, touching on something that you said at the start is about just as a writer how you resonated with this text, right? I'm not a writer by trade. That's not my number one passion. It's just something that I like researching and looking at, and something that I do for fun. I have actively learnt so much from reading the parts of this that I've read. And it could be the smallest things from, like, Russell says, and again, that's something else that Russell clarified, which I really appreciate, is he said, I think writers who tell other writers how you should definitively write is bad and wrong. He didn't say bad and wrong, but he made it very clear that this book is him talking about his process and his style. And, like, for example, he says, I avoid the word we. It feels wrong to me. So, for example, saying we see Ben running, I prefer to say Ben is running, because there is no we inside the script. Really interesting little tidbit. And then, like, another one is, I prefer to write Ben runs across the amphitheatre fast instead of Ben runs across the amphitheatre quickly. It's not a novel, it's a script, and it has to float. It has to feel like pictures. When I read that, I was like, I get it. Yes, it has to, like, because when you read that line, you see it in a state. It's like images in your head. It's so
You kind of emphasize certain words. The run-on sentence beforehand is almost not the important bit. It's the last punchy word that gives it an oomph, and sometimes it's capitalized really to, like,
exactly, like,
this
comma,
is the important bit. Yeah,
quickly. Just that alone. And then, like, the last thing I'll say, because again, I don't want to spoil it, because I think people, if you're into writing, you should read this. Is he said, I spend huge amounts of time making sure that stage directions match the tone and rhythm of the scene. Like in an action scene where I use dashes instead of full stops to make sure that everything is moving fast. So another example, Ben walks into the room invisibly. He looks around, sees the wallet by the bed. He walks towards the wallet, dash. But it explodes, dash, and he's running. Like, when you read it, it makes more sense, because, again, reading is different. But you know what I mean? Like, that, it just, so much invaluable advice.
Yeah.
That I have written down, again, in my commonplace book, because I'm a loser.
What makes a strength of a good artist sometimes is not being afraid to learn still.
Yes.
And I agree with Russell that no one should ever teach you specifically how to write. I don't think that it's... I think you can teach form.
Yeah.
I don't think you can teach ability.
Voice as well. I think personal voice, right?
Yeah, I think you can, not all things, but I think you can teach some. You can teach some things. You can teach some creative things. But I think it's like the difference between what makes someone like okay at doodling versus like a painter.
Yeah, exactly.
Is you can teach somebody to draw, but you can't teach someone that passion to express themselves on a canvas.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with writing. So my advice just be never try. No. But the way that you learn is by hearing other people's experiences and hearing other people speak and reading other people's scripts. And yeah, there are things that sometimes I take into my own work, sometimes I read and take on board, sometimes I then realise I'm trying to adopt too much and it stops becoming my voice. But I think it's really important. One of my, if anybody ever asked me for advice, which they never do or should, but if anybody ever did, which I've had like one or two people do, I would always say there's that expression, write what you know.
Yeah.
And I think people get lost in that as a sort of, okay, so I can only write a sitcom set in a Costa because it's where I work. Write what you know, for me, is emotion. And I think it's so perfectly laid out in Doctor Who, where you can write 4 and a bit series of a sweeping space epic of monsters and Time Lords and phone boxes that are infinite spaceships inside them. And all of that stuff is good, but it's window dressing for the teenage girl from the power state who, has her life upended. It's all basically superfluous. And if you have something profound that you feel or that you think about the world or an experience that you've ever had, you can set it wherever you want. You can set it aboard a sinking ship or a planet 500 years in the future or, a castle 700 years in the past. If the emotional core is there and what you want to convey with your words are there, you won't ever go wrong.
Exactly.
I mean, you can, because you could be shit. I don't know.
No, of course. No, but well said. I think that's really well said. I completely agree.
It's my biggest takeaway from the book is a solidifying of my own opinion.
Yes, absolutely. No, that's... And again, I didn't read it, but the whole thing. But like from the quarter that I read, that's what I took away from it also.
Don't be afraid to forgo scale for intimacy either. The original idea for David's final episode is an episode that I think would have annoyed people at the time and would still annoy some people now, but would stand the test of time of being a really profound piece of drama that would kind of transcend the show into being something else.
Yeah.
And I think it's a shame that we never got that.
What was it?
It was the Doctor materializing, I think, on his own on a spaceship in the future and helping a family, just like an alien family whose like car had broken down and they were stuck. And the original ending for the end of time is still there. The Doctor absorbs a lethal amount of radiation to save like a family of 4.
Wow. Okay.
And that is it, basically. It would have been 1 episode. But I think, obviously there's no guarantee that it would be good, because you don't know.
I like the sound of it.
But I just think that, again, it's the Benjamin Cook, bring back the Time Lords, you got to do the Time Lords, Russell. No. 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 That I think that would now, I think we would talk about that more now.
Yeah.
As an episode than...
Agreed.
And I love End of Time.
You do. I don't, but yeah.
I think we talk about it a lot more than End of Time. End of Time has way too many ideas that aren't fully fleshed out in it.
Yeah. I have a couple of other little quotes I'd like to read before we close out this episode, if you don't mind. If you're writing well, if the end result is brilliant or beautiful, then you are saying something about the world you can't not be. It's kind of what you said earlier. That sentiment is just...
I wrote this book.
You wrote it. This one really messed me up. This quote was so profound to me. I shared it with you yesterday, actually, before we recorded. I've never found a single situation, not my mother's death, not my overdose, not anything, in which something funny hasn't happened. That's why I think it's so wrong to write with a comedy or tragedy label in your head. Life isn't like that. Love summing up the first 4 series of Doctor Who. That's literally what it is. How you want your dialogue to sound is entirely personal. That's one of the things that defines a writer. I think the strongest writers in the land write dialogue that sounds like themselves. It's kind of like why a random example like Fleabag, I think, works, because it's just so distinctly Phoebe Waller-Bridge, you know, as an example. I totally agree with that.
Absolutely.
And another one, if Rose Tyler had been called Ace, what would the design team have thought? From one word, the tone starts to go wrong. All the smaller stuff, the words, the names, the style, conspire together to make a show that works or a show that doesn't. That one's up to interpretation. I like that, because it's like the smallest thing down to a name can completely give you a total, like when we heard, example, when Ruby Sunday was announced as a companion, that gave me an energy.
Yeah, I think, and that's the thing, when you're writing a script, people will tell you not to over-direct on pages.
Yeah.
And I think that's why word choice is so important, because you're trying to convey something that's in your head. You want other people to see what you see in your mind. Whilst also obviously letting it be up for interpretation for a design team and a director. But that's what you want. You want people to see what's in your head. And it's why, you know, when I do a draft of a script, I blast through a script, I convey what I want, and I reread it. And I don't reread it loads, because eventually you end up bastardizing it, but I reread it at least once to be like, does this clearly communicate what I see in my mind? No, it doesn't, and I need to change this word, and I need to shift this around and get rid of this to make it work. Absolutely. And then if I say this to people and it still doesn't work, then, you know, it gets changed again. But I think you reach a point where you do it too much and you ruin your own work. But if you do it once, the thing is, but again, I like Russell, I develop everything in my brain for months, and I feel like I have a draft ready to go, then I write it, then I reread it, change anything that needs changing, think in between those times about scenes that could be added or taken away, what could be giving texture to the story.
Yeah.
And I go in and I make all those changes over the period of time, and then I spell check. Then it gets sent out into the world.
There you go.
And that's it. That's how I do. I do 2 drafts.
But that's the thing. It's like, just even like a name, I've never thought about that. Yeah. Insane.
Yeah.
And then my last quote that I'd like to share is, you have to be arrogant to be a writer. You have to be able to walk into a commissioner's office and demand 6 million quid to make something. You have to believe that it's worth that it deserves to be made, that it deserves to be seen. Period. No, but like, really and truly, like, you have to believe in your own work, because if you don't believe in it, who else is going to, right?
Absolutely. I'm just going to read. It's a bit of it's not massive. It's just a bit of a passage. It's like a paragraph, and then there's an immediate thing following it up, which is just funny. It makes me laugh. So just to give you context, where I'm joining in, Russell it's like the night before he flies to LA to, you know, leave the British TV industry behind. Mm-hmm. And Rose is being shown on BBC Three, and he watches it from the start, just for he watches the whole episode, and then he sends a massive email to Ben talking about it. But this is kind of the last bit, so that's the context why this is. So I'm surprised by all of that, to be honest. I'm amazed to see that so much of what I wanted from Doctor Who was so present and so clear from the opening titles onwards. I thought I'd watch something more timid, more unformed, more embryonic. I didn't remember it being that confident, that certain right from the start. We've got so used to doing interviews in which we talk about the horrors of production, being thrown in at the deep end, the amount that we had to learn, the steepness of the learning curve, etc., that we've forgotten. This was good. This was great. Actually, it's brilliant. And the episode asserts itself again and again, even today, because those 45 minutes establish an audience that grew for 5 years. That's important and rare. The show has drawn more and more people to it as time has gone on, and it hasn't increased its audience by changing. It's done so by staying the same, by being consistent, by never flinching. We've had some nerve. That sort of success doesn't happen often. In fact, it happens just about never. But it happened with Doctor Who. Ha! Right, that's it for me. I'm off tomorrow. Bye then. Look after TV for me. Don't let anyone break it while I'm gone.
Oh my god, that's so beautiful.
And then I love that, and I was feeling quite emotional when I read that, and then you get a thing that's 3 days later. It's a text from Ben. It says, since you left 2 days ago, Primeval has been axed. Irish TV broadcasters Satana has fallen into administration. ITV are having to reshoot the first wave of X Factor auditions. Yes, really, I know. And there's Naffle on TV tonight. You know when you told me to look after TV for you? Well, there'll be no TV left by the time you come back to visit in October. Just a test card on every channel. Or Arlene Phillips counting beans. I'm so sorry. And then Russell T Davies replied to that text saying, can't I leave you alone for 5 minutes?
I have to agree with Ben. When they axed Primeval, to this day, I've never known joy. So, yeah.
I just remember reading that. So there's a few more pages after that, and I think they're relatively superfluous, although Russell's final soliloquy at the end of the book is still lovely.
Yeah.
But I felt so emotional reading his summary of watching Rose for the first time.
Oh.
But then also I did enjoy that little funny capper of Ben texting him just kind of being like, fuck off, Ben.
Yeah. That's brilliant. That's so brilliant. I love that so much. Because it is good. It's so good.
That's why I wanted to read it, because we've talked about production, we've talked about messes and things, and I think that's important to remember. It is good.
Oh, I'm getting emotional, mate. I'm getting emotional. Like, that's it. We're done with Russell. We're done with the RTD, the big RTD. Maybe. We're not really. We've still got Sarah Jane Adventures and one more series of Torchwood.
And The War Between the Land and the Sea.
War Between the Land and the Sea.
And maybe Series 3.
Okay, so we're not on Russell at all, basically.
Maybe a Series 3.
Maybe.
Who knows? But we're done with Series 1 to 4. We're done with
the original
shared childhood Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And now we're getting into uncharted territories.
Now we're getting into my teenage years. God.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited. Come on, Stephen. Show us what you got, babes.
Okay.
So,
right.
Anyway, what would you rate RTD out of 5?
I was going to say, fucking hell.
I'm joking. That's a joke. We're not rating a man out of 5. That's ridiculous.
No. But I think no one's perfect, but neither is a piece of media. I'd give him a 5.
Me too.
Anyway.
Me too.
I'm just going to read an email out quickly, and then, we'll all go home. So, email here from a listener says, Hi, Damla Elliott. I just wanted to say that I love your podcast.
Thank you.
I first found it on Spotify. I've been listening to it ever since. I can't.
Oh,
I know, right? It's crazy because, I don't think anybody listens on Spotify. Although, actually, no, we got most of our ratings on Spotify. Ignore me. Anyway, I can't wait for you to get some of my favourite episodes, brackets, Eve of the Daleks, The Magician's Apprentice / Witch's Familiar, and The Name of the Doctor. That is a very eclectic mix, and I fear you won't like me. Some of my personal favourite characters are Clara, Rose, Yaz, and Romana. I look forward to you discussing Yaz on the pod, because a lot of people don't like her, but a lot of scenes with her really resonate with me, especially in Eve of the Daleks, when she says, I've never told anyone, not even myself, because as a sapphic who struggles with accepting herself, I really relate to this scene. I've also wanted to ask, are there any scenes in particular that stick out to either of you on a basis of relatability, or that you just really like? See, I thought it was nice and thematically relevant because we're talking about...
Yeah, that's lovely. I think a really important scene for me is Martha leaving at the end of Series 3. Just as a woman, as a person, you need to know your worth, and you need to learn when to let things go. And that's something I still find really hard to do. Really hard. But that scene, always, when I watch it, I'm like, fist in the air. Yeah! Get out! And this is me getting out. And I say, period. Yeah, that's one off the top of my head. I mean, I've said before, again, I have it tattooed on my arm, the scene from Bad Wolf Bay with Rose and the Doctors, the first time that I remember in my life having that media having an effect on me so incredibly. But that's what I'll say today, because I could go on and on and on and on.
I could also probably go on, and I feel like there are probably better examples if I could think of them. But to be honest, I think, even though it gets a lot of flack from people, the 10th Doctor going to get his reward, I think is just a very beautiful reminder.
But you're going to have a really great year.
Just, of connections and friendships and people who care about you. It's nice. It's positive. I like it. Lots of people are way too cynical about that scene.
They are. And they shouldn't be.
No. So I like it. Anyway, so they say, thank you so much for making the podcast, because listening to other people share opinions on my favourite sci-fi show makes my day a little better.
Oh.
Have a really good rest of your day, stroke night, from Grace, smiley face.
We love you, Grace. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Grace. I've also accidentally said your name loads of times because I kept saying I'll give people grace.
Grace. Gracie Grace. Gracie Abrams.
I feel like that's just your brain, just like ping-ponging around.
That's me.
Like...
I think about Gracie Abrams a lot, okay?
Hey, fair enough.
That's between me and me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not here to interrogate it. Well, look, if you want to be as cool as Grace, you can send an email to comealongpompod@gmail.com. We will strive to read it out on the show. At the moment, we're just going to picking them at random or when they seem thematically resonant with what we're talking about. So send an email in. It will get read out, comealongpompod@gmail.com. However, other ways you can support the show, you can head to Patreon. That's patreon.com/comealongpompodcast. Over there, we post ad-free versions of the show. You can give us a bit of general support, or, of course, if you want to go for a highest tier, you can see the visual accompaniment to this episode. You can see me and Damla posing with a book. You can see me awkwardly trying to read from page whilst also keeping in place with my microphone brackets. It didn't work. And we always like to give a wave to our patrons because we really appreciate them. Hello. But I also want to say thank you to them, and that is Jason, David Cummings, Lucy, Anna, Becks, Michele, Beth McLeod, Ruth Weld, Lottie Smith, Ezra Kowo, Mark Krause, Olivia Jordan, Northerly Keebler, Annie Rose, Karolina, Evan, Fern, Taz, Hailee, Beth, Charlie, Egon, Amy, Heather, the Fifth, and May. They are all our best friends, and I love them all.
Dearly.
Other ways you can support the show, though, if you don't want to have a monthly recurring donation, because I understand, times are hard for friends of few, you can head to our Ko-fi, that's ko-fi.com/comealongpodcast. You can give us a one-off donation just to show a bit of appreciation. However, that's not the only place to go for your appreciation stations. You can head to TikTok. That's tiktok.com/comealongpodcast. Over there, we post basically clips from the show that are us having a natter about things. Who knows what they all be? It could be a mystery. Who knows if TikTok will try and demonetize? Well, we don't monetize it, but they'll try and take our content away from us and not show them to anybody because we hate them. Head over there. You can engage with it, like it. But if you don't like TikTok, because why would you? You can head to Instagram. It's instagram.com/comealongpodcast. We have the same artwork everywhere. You can't miss us. We just call Come Along Pod Podcast. We post the TikToks as reels. You can view them over there, like them, engage with them, have fun. You can send us messages. You'll see what episodes are going out, why they're not going out, why they're going out late. Oh my God. Please.
You know the fucking drill.
Listen to Serving Cinema. Please.
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 Please, please, please. I love you.
Anyway.
I do. I really do. I do.
You're using it to embarrass me now.
No, I'm not. I love you.
Thanks.
I love doing this podcast with you.
Me too.
And the other one that no one listens to, listen to it.
I'll talk forever about being frustrated with my writing, but you know what? This at least creatively fulfills me in some way, and it is a godsend for that.
Thank you.
No,
because I agree.
No, honestly, I'm not even trying to be.
No. Honestly, this is one of the only things that creatively fulfills me in my life. So appreciation. Stations.
Love you all. Serving Cinema. This, you know the drill. Also, fun fact. Maybe we'll drop this. Depends how I feel. I don't know, but I've written a Doctor Who short story. I don't know how I feel about it. I hate playing with other people's toys. It kind of makes me feel sick to have done it, but also I had an idea. I had to get it out. Damla wanted to read it.
Yeah.
And you might have the chance to. If you do, it'll be on our Patreon. So if that interests anybody as a reason to sign up for it, it's there. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Honestly,
if the feedback from Damla and like one other person is bad, which is fine. I'll be fine with that. If they don't like it, I don't care. But then it will not be shown to anybody else. I'm sorry. She's my quality control.
I'm QCing. Yeah.
You are absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, there was something else I wanted to say before I did the general. Yes, right. Everybody, stop. Shut up. Quiet. I know we mentioned it earlier, but just to reiterate, Series 5 is happening. It's not a drill. Next time you listen to this podcast, it will be the 11th hour.
It will be.
We're looking forward to Series 5. I'm looking forward to Series 5.
I'm so excited.
I've wanted to just talk about Series 5 for quite a while now.
Yeah, me too.
Especially when Series 2 started getting bad.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about Series 5. I'm really looking forward to it. New era, new us.
100%.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Because it
for
took
bearing with
2 years to get this to finish Series 4. So
it's mental.
Really appreciate it. Anyway, Damla, with all of that being said, it has been lovely being joined by you to arse-lick Russell Davis.
Yes.
This afternoon.
Yes. Same to you, my love. I just love arse-licking Russell Davis.
Incidentally, it's been lovely being joined by Olivia at home as well.
And we give you air from our lungs.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye. Farewell.
Bye. Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye-bye. Double wave. Double wave.
But don't worry, like Russell will be back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.